If you are listening to this, your heart probably feels heavy. There is a tightness in your chest, a constant movie reel of memories playing in your mind, both the beautiful ones that make you ache and the painful ones that make you angry. This pain is real, it is physical, and it is completely normal after what you've been through. Let me ask you, right now, what is the one memory that keeps popping up? Just sit with that for a second. Acknowledge it without judgment. This isn't a sign of weakness, it is a sign you care deeply. And right now, you are in the storm of heartbreak. I remember when my friend Sarah went through her breakup. She described it as feeling like she was walking through life with a constant heavy fog. The colors were duller, food tasted like nothing, and every song on the radio seemed to be about her pain. She tried to be strong, which to her meant pretending she wasn't feeling the gut-wrenching denial and white-hot anger. This is where most of us get it wrong. The very first non-negotiable step is to feel the denial and anger. The Stoics weren't emotionless robots. They were realists who understood that these initial, raw feelings are completely involuntary. To try and bypass them is to lie to yourself about your own human experience. So, I want you to give yourself permission, right here, right now. If you need to scream into a pillow, to cry until you have no tears left, or to write a furious 20-page letter you will never send, do it. Sarah wrote that letter, and she told me that the simple act of getting every why and how could you out of her head and onto paper was the first time she felt a sliver of control returning. This is what it means to vent out all emotions. Do not hold them in. The Roman philosopher Seneca, who faced exile and tremendous personal betrayal, wrote that the sorrow that speaks does not kill. The sorrow that cannot speak kills. By venting in a healthy way through journaling, talking to a trusted friend, or even through intense physical exercise, you are releasing the pressure valve before the container explodes. But here is the crucial Stoic pivot that most people miss. Feel these things as a passing storm, not as the permanent climate of your soul. You are the sky, vast, constant, and unchanging. The anger, the sadness, the denial, these are just weather patterns passing through. The sky doesn't cling to the storm, it allows the storm to pass through it. Can you identify one emotion that feels particularly overwhelming right now? Maybe it is the anger that makes your hands shake, or the sadness that makes your chest feel hollow. Just for this moment, I want you to imagine that feeling as a cloud passing through the vast sky of your awareness. Present, real but temporary, and separate from who you truly are. At your core, once you've allowed that initial, raw wave to crash over you and then recede. And this might take days, or even weeks. It is time to move from being a passive victim of the emotional weather to becoming an active architect of your environment. This begins with the deliberate, practical step of removing painful triggers from your daily life. I want to be very clear, you are not weak for doing this. You are being wise and strategic. When Sarah boxed up the stuffed animal he'd won for her at that carnival and put it in the back of her closet, it didn't erase the memory, but it stopped the daily, unexpected stab of pain every time she saw it on her bed. You are creating a mental sanctuary where healing can actually occur. And while you are curating your digital and physical space, you must also be intentional about curating your social environment. Make a conscious effort to surround yourself with positive people who see the best in you, especially when you can't see it in yourself. Who is that one person you can reach out to today, not to rehash the breakup or analyze what went wrong for the 100th time, but to simply be reminded that there is a whole world and identity for you beyond this relationship? Now, we make a crucial transition. We're moving from defense to offense. This is about what Marcus Aurelius called getting active in your own rescue, no longer just enduring the pain, but actively building your way out of it. This begins with taking care of yourself in a way that systematically rebuilds your sense of agency and personal power. When you felt powerless in love, the most powerful response is to demonstrate to yourself, through action, that you still have control over your own life. Let's talk about physical movement, particularly the gym. I am not just talking about physical health or getting a revenge body. The exertion itself serves as a powerful physical metaphor for your internal process. Every weight you lift is a protest against the feeling of helplessness. Every drop of sweat is tangible proof of your effort, your will, your ability to endure difficulty and grow stronger from it. Or perhaps for you, it is about trying new hobbies that reconnect you with parts of yourself you may have neglected. What is something you were ever curious about, but maybe didn't have time for during the relationship, or perhaps felt your ex would have judged? This is your sacred opportunity to reclaim your interests and curiosities. I want you to think of one small new thing you could try this week, and I mean really small, even for just 30 minutes. Maybe it is downloading a language learning app, buying a small sketchbook, or watching a tutorial about something that has always intrigued you. What is one thing that comes to mind? Right now, from this place of active creation and self-care, the next natural step is to begin setting goals for yourself. I am not talking about massive, life-altering goals that feel overwhelming in your current state. I mean small, achievable, daily or weekly objectives that give you a clear sense of forward momentum. Sarah's first goal was simply to walk for 30 minutes every day. It wasn't about fitness, it was about the rhythm of consistently moving forward. Literally, each step became a small, quiet declaration of independence. Every single goal you achieve, whether it is cooking 3 healthy meals this week, finally cleaning out that closet, or completing a small work project, is another brick laid in the foundation of your new confidence. This disciplined action builds what the Stoics called your inner citadel, a fortress of self that cannot be shaken by external events. And protecting this growing fortress requires one of the most difficult, but crucial disciplines. You must stop stalking your ex on social media. I want you to think of checking their social media as picking at a surgical wound. You are looking for something, a sign they're miserable without you, evidence they've moved on, some clue about their inner state. But all you are doing is preventing the wound from healing. You are refusing to accept reality as it is, and instead seeking tiny, painful breadcrumbs of information that keep you tied to their world, instead of building your own. Every time you feel that gut-wrenching urge to type their name into a search bar, I want you to recognize it for what it is, a test of your stoic resolve. Your mission in that moment isn't to resist forever, it is simply to outlast this particular urge. Put your phone down, walk away, and redirect that anxious energy into one of your goals or new hobbies. So right now, I want you to decide on one specific action you'll take the next time that compulsive urge hits. Will you do 10 push-ups? Start reading that book. What is your specific escape plan? We now arrive at the final stage of this journey, the work of cutting the invisible chains that keep you psychologically tied to the past and your ex. This is about moving from prisoner to free person. It begins with what might seem like the most difficult task of all, forgiving them for yourself. Now, I can almost feel some of you recoiling from this suggestion. Your mind might be shouting, after what they did, never. Let me be absolutely crystal clear about what forgiveness means in this Stoic context. This is not about condoning what happened. It is not about saying what you did was okay. It is not about reconciliation or letting them back into your life. This is a strategic, personal decision you make for your own peace. Holding a grudge, as the ancient wisdom goes, is like drinking poison and hoping the other person gets sick. You are the one who remains poisoned, trapped in a past narrative, spending your present emotional energy on someone who likely isn't thinking about you at all. You are keeping yourself in a prison, while the other person has long since walked free. Forgiveness, in the true Stoic sense, is therefore an act of strategic self-liberation. It is the highest form of justice you can grant yourself. It is you declaring, I will no longer allow this person and what happened to control my emotional state or dominate my mental space. I am taking my power back. It is you granting yourself the peace that comes with emotional independence. This conscious act of letting go naturally prepares the ground for the final and most important realization you need to internalize. You must realize your inherent self-worth, completely independent of this relationship or any other. I want you to hear this, and I want you to say it to yourself. Maybe not out loud, but in your mind, your value was never and will never be determined by someone's inability to see it. Your worth is not up for debate or dependent on another person's validation. It is your birthright. A diamond does not lose its value if it is dropped in the mud, forgotten in a drawer, or mistaken for glass by someone who doesn't know any better. It remains a diamond with all its inherent brilliance and strength, waiting to be cleaned off and appreciated for what it truly is. You are that diamond. The very fact that you are here, listening to this, seeking a way through the pain rather than just wallowing in it, that proves your strength and your value. You are enduring one of life's hardest trials and consciously choosing to learn and grow from it. That makes you incredibly resilient and valuable. By reclaiming your self-worth, you take back the permission you inadvertently gave someone else to define your value. You move from asking, "Why didn't they want me?" to declaring, "I am valuable," and their actions cannot change that fundamental truth. All of these steps, feeling the storm without drowning in it, deliberately curating your environment, actively building your new self, and courageously liberating yourself through forgiveness and self-worth. They all culminate in one powerful, overarching Stoic concept: radical acceptance. Or, as the Stoics and later philosophers like Nietzsche called it, Amor, Fati, the love of one's fate. This isn't passive resignation. It is an active, courageous embrace. It means looking squarely at the broken pieces of what you thought your life would be and deciding, with clear eyes and a courageous heart, to build something even more beautiful and authentic with those very pieces. It means genuinely accepting that this chapter is definitively closed, not with bitter resignation or a sense of defeat, but with the profound understanding that it is now an integral, meaningful part of your unique story. The pain carved out hollows in you, but those hollows are now spaces that can hold more depth, more compassion for others who suffer, and more wisdom for your future self. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, who ruled through plague and endless war, constantly reminded himself in his private journal, which we now know as Meditations, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Your heartbreak, this immense obstacle you never asked for, has now become your path. It is the forge that is tempering you into a stronger, wiser, and more complete human being. So, let's do a final recap of the map we've built together. First, you must feel the storm fully without letting it define you. Second, take control of your environment, both digital and social. Third, consistently build your new self through action, goals, and new pursuits. And fourth, liberate yourself through forgiveness and the unwavering knowledge of your own inherent worth. You have the map now. The journey is yours to walk, one deliberate step at a time. Understand that it won't be linear. Some days will feel like massive progress, and others will feel like 2 steps back. This is normal and part of the process. So please be endlessly patient with yourself. Be courageous in your actions, especially on the days you feel afraid. Your job is not to be perfect, but to be persistent. And I want you to remember this. Above all else, you are not just healing. You are not just getting over someone. You are evolving. You are actively, consciously becoming the person you were always meant to be, a person of greater depth, strength, and wisdom. And that person, I promise you, has a future that is far too bright, far too interesting, and far too full of love to be permanently defined by a past pain. Your story isn't over. The most powerful chapters are yet to be written. If this conversation brought you any peace or clarity today, consider subscribing to Stoic Message. We explore these principles every week, turning ancient wisdom into practical tools for modern life. And if you found this helpful, please like this video. It helps others who are hurting find their way to this healing wisdom too. Thank you for watching, and remember, your peace is worth fighting for.